What's up, course heroes? Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to break down FG funnels. FG funnels is by Funnel Gorgeous Ladies. Ladies, you are awesome. If you're listening to this or watching this, I love the work that you're doing. So I thought, why not rip your funnel off? And today we're going to see how you can rebuild that website in Zenler. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm on the fgfunnels.com website. Frankly, the software seems pretty cool, but today we are going to do a website transfer where I'm going to show you how to build this exact website in Zenler. Now I've gone through the list and copied most of these images, so we don't have to build that twice. Just want to quickly show you this entire page before we get to the build part. So you can see it's mostly a bunch of images and text. Shouldn't be that hard to do, and throughout the page I see a format here. Zoom out a bit to show you. If we zoom out, you can see there is an image on top here on the left side, and then text, and then same thing here, image and text, and this theme kind of follows throughout the page. And when I'm zoomed in at a full 100% on my browser, you will see that there's still white space on the left and right. So that's the kind of layout we want to copy and keep. I'm going to show you how to grab the colors and fonts in a minute. First thing I'm going to do is I have a website called ZZ Templates. Shameless plug, this is a website where you can buy good looking pages. I'm going to put that link in the description below. It's dirt cheap to buy these pages. My team will go in and build it for you, so you don't have to do the work. Now, if you are one of those who likes to get your hands dirty, let's get to the build part. So go over to site and then pages, and here you can add a new page. I've already added the page title and the page URL, and I'm going to publish it and leave it visible for you to go check it out. So let's click add, and that will open up our editor. Now here you can see this is a full header area. Below the header area there is a 25 by 75% block here, or that's kind of new Zenler speak. And what I mean by that is, if I look at this, it's divided into two boxes. This is the first box and this is the second box. And the first box is 25% and the second block is 75%. And that's what we're going to build in Zenler. So let's go back into our Zenler school here. The first block I want to add here is kind of like a hero block, which has that main header. So let's look at the left pane here where you see all the available blocks. I'm going to look at maybe the headers, and in that header I want to see something that stands out and looks kind of similar to what they had. I'm actually going to go with this empty one just to get that header feel, and then change the colors and text. So this background color, to get it, there's a Chrome extension called Color Pick Eyedropper. I'm going to activate that, click on this and copy the hex code, go back here, do the same thing with my block here, paste that hex code, and then we have this is text. Now the font that they're using, to get that I'm going to get the what font Chrome extension, hover over it. This one is Railway, so is this one, and so is this one. You can see that the same font looks completely different. One is a little bigger, one is bold, and one is in a different color. And when you click on it, it'll even show you the pixel size. So this one is 22 pixels, this one is 34 with a weight of 400, this one has a weight of 700, and then finally that bold one is also that's 26 with a weight of 700. So again, we can try to replicate this in Zenler. It should be fairly easy, where I copy the text and paste it here. To change the font, you can click on the settings gear icon. And once you click on it, a settings panel will open on the right side. And here I can search for Railway. So Railway is the font, and I think it was 34. And style, we're going to leave it at bold. Font color, I do want to change that, and that looks good. I can move on to the next one, which is this one right here. Now we're not going to build this entire page. I will build it, but I don't want you to have to sit through watching me build it. So I'm going to build the first few elements, and then we'll kind of fast forward this and show you what that end result looks like. I'm going to copy this text. One tip is, when you paste it, if you want to remove all the formatting, hit Ctrl Shift V or Command Shift V instead of just Control C, Control V, that takes out all the text formatting. So then we're going to go into settings here. Same thing, we're going to choose railway. Font style, I'm going to choose extra bold this time. And we're going to give this 36 and also change the font color. And then the final, I can actually duplicate this and just copy this and paste it. So you can see how easy it is to build this kind of stuff. I'm going to not make this bold because that the last line is bold. So this one, I'm going to go back to medium and this one can stay bold. The only thing here is we need to change this font color to match this one. Again, this time I'm going to select the What Font Chrome extension, and here I can see the color code. I'm going to copy that, go back here and paste it. So again, you can click the settings gear icon, choose the color here and paste that hex code. And that's looking good. I don't want this call to action, so I can remove it. One thing to note, you can see that here you have these slanted background lines. We won't be able to get that natively in New Zenler, but if you like CSS, you can kind of go into the back end of this page and work with the CSS code. That's not something I do, so I don't really mess with that. I'm going to leave it as is. Hitting save every once in a while is a good idea. So for the next set, you can see it's pretty much all white, which is going to make our life easy. So this image is on the left side and then we have some text here. I'm guessing this is still the same font, but let's take a look. Okay, this one is Laura and let's see, same. All right, so they are using two different fonts between Laura and Railway, and that's kind of like their font pairing. So I'm going to go back here and this time we're going to add a 2575 row. It might not be that exact dimension, maybe it's a little bit off, but I think we can get close enough with the 2575. I'm going to upload this image, and when you see this message here, you can upload without crop instead of cropping your image every time. That's just a little tip in case you didn't know that already. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So we are going with maybe 3070, and then here we can add the text. Again, just copy paste. My goal is to show you how easy it is to build any site that you find online instead of trying to spend a ton of time trying to build it from scratch. So here we have 4 different lines and then the third one is highlighted. Let's try to achieve that. First one is to the community, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll fix the font to get that same font that they're using. As long as it's in the Google font library, we should be able to grab it from there. Now, I have aligned this. A couple of things I want to do here. First, I want to align the text to left align. So I'm going to click on the settings icon, go to the text alignment and choose left. And then I'm going to change the text to Laura. Perfect. This one I think was italic, so I made that italic. This one was the one that was bold and also had a text highlight. So I'm going to choose the background color to be this yellow, and let's see if we can pick a different yellow. I'm going to grab my color pick eyedropper Chrome extension and grab this exact yellow shade and then put that in here. Okay, perfect. I can see that the text is more towards the middle of this container instead of being on the top of the container like you see here. To change that, I'm simply going to click on the whole container where you have the 2 columns, go into the settings and align the vertical alignment to top instead of center. And once that is done, the last thing we need to do is add this button. So we are going to go back to our editor and I'm simply going to hit the plus arrow here, or the plus button I should say, and choose a button. And then the text here reads, just take me to the offer. Let's see what font this is. Same font, Laura 34 pixel. Now to change the text on your button, you're going to go into settings. Here you can type whatever you want, and then the subtext here says, I already know plus love the backstory. Okay. The last thing we need to do is match the color. So I'm going to again choose my color pick eyedropper, copy that color, go back to my button, go to the style part and choose the background color to be that. And I don't want any borders, so I'm going to choose transparent. And then finally, we need to change the font and also increase the font size. Let's go with 36. Now, in case you don't like this button to be this wide, you can click on the settings, go down here and choose the width to be normal instead of full width. And that normal width will be whatever the size of your font is and however big your text is on that button. I'm going to go back to full width, and then I believe this last thing is to check the font size here. So we are at 17 pixels, I believe, throughout. Okay, that sounds about right. I'm going to zoom this a bit and change this font size to 17 pixel. And then I believe this last part was bold too. You can do that. Control B or Command B on Mac is a shortcut to make anything bold. Let's hit save. So this is looking pretty close to our Funnel Gorgeous page here. The next step is to add all this text. There's nothing fancy going on here, so I'm simply going to clone the page and add all this text, and I'm going to keep this recording going, but I'm going to kind of fast forward it so you can see how I'm building this page. One quick thing before we get into the fast forward mode is a quick hack that I like to use once I've perfected a block is I just like to clone it. And the second thing you can do in Zenler is you can also save custom blocks. This way you can reuse them down the road on another page. They only work within one site right now. So if you have a custom block that you want to export and maybe use on a different school, because you do get 3 schools on the pro plan, you cannot do that yet. Hopefully by the time you're watching this video, maybe that'll be a reality. So let's get started in our fast forward mode. Quick thing that I want to show as I'm building this. So far all I have done is text and images. So if I do a preview right here, you'll see it's mainly text. Some of this text I need to reformat, but this is looking pretty close to what I see on FG funnels. Some of the stuff again I need to align to the left. One thing I want to show you here is if we look at their page, this is the fgfunnels.com page, you will see there's a bunch of icons here and text. To achieve this, what I have done is I have gone under this text, I added a 25 by 75% row again, and then I simply dragged it to make it smaller. This was the original one, I think it was something like this. So I dragged it, made it smaller, and then if you go to the settings of this entire block, just change the vertical alignment to top again. And then if I click on the settings of the icon itself, I can go and change the icon size. So I've changed that to 30. And then let's grab the color from this icon. We go back, we can change the color of the icon and paste that right here. And then once you have it looking the way you want it, I would suggest spend more time on the first one and then just keep cloning it to get the same results. I can see that these are too far apart, so I'm going to delete these. Let me delete the ones that are far apart, and then what we can do is go into settings and change some of the spacing. So I don't want spacing at the top, and maybe if I remove, I'll leave some spacing on the bottom. And then this text was also left aligned, so I'm going to change that alignment and make it bold, and possibly change the to. If we clone this, the spacing isn't as much. There's still some spacing on the top that I can remove from the second one. And then lastly, I want to see if there's any padding at top and bottom. So padding is good. Now I can clone this. So there are 4 of these boxes here. I'm going to clone it 4 times and then just change the text and also the text color, because only the icons are that purple-ish color. The text is all black color, so I'm gonna make that change, and then we can continue our fast forward. And then the final thing I want to show you, because that's pretty much the theme of this page, is this section here where you have an image on the left and then the text on the right, and then that carries throughout. I don't see anything else that is worth noting other than what we have already seen. So let's get into that final section. If I go back up here, you can see that this is an image, because if I right click it, I can save that image, and then you have some text over on to the right. Let's try to replicate that. So what I've done is I have selected this whole container here, and I'm going to hit the plus button and add another 2575. And then here first we have some text, so I'm going to add that text over here. And let's see, this is the same font railway, just a different color. If I go into color, I can change that, and then let's change the font. Okay, and on the right side we have, let's add a heading, and this is going to be also railway, and we leave it bold. And let's add some text here, and we'll align this to the left. Let's change that alignment. I would like that when we highlight the text, I would like that alignment to be right here, so I don't have to always click the settings gear icon and go all the way down to change the alignment. So hopefully New Zenler team can fix that soon. Now for these two, I am going to put the alignment back to top, and vertical alignment top, and I believe there's a divider element I can use, although I might not be able to pull it in here. So we're going to leave that divider out. Now the next thing I'm going to do is clone this, and here instead of text I'm going to add an image. So I'm going to delete that, add the image element, and this is where the testimonials will go. So let's pick a testimonial, upload without crop, and there you have it. Maybe we want to make this a little bit more readable. So let's go here and also change this one. And the final thing is that there are these check boxes or the check marks along with a list of stuff. Before you would have to do this, I would say, with an icon and also the text, but New Zenler has added a list element. So let's see if we can try that out. You have the lists element here. I'm going to select that. And then what you can do is you can go into the settings of the list element. And here on the right side, let's see if I can change that icon. So here under settings, you can see the icon. I'm going to select a check. You can search for icons. This looks like the closest match. And then we're going to change the color as well. And you can see that goes into effect right away. Now all we need to do is copy paste our list items. And I have mentioned this before. Of course, please do not blatantly plagiarize someone's website, but it is always good to take inspiration from other good websites to see what you can improve on. I'm going to add just 2 bullets because I think you get the idea by now. I want to show you one last thing. So let's finish this off. Bullet number 3 and 4 can be deleted. Oops, I didn't mean to delete all of them. So that's the other good thing, is you can hit Control Z on your keyboard to undo anything that you might have done by mistake, or you can use the undo arrow right here. So I have all my list items back. Now I'm going to delete 3 and 4, and that's how you can add your checkboxes. One final thing before we move on to finishing off this page is always good to check how your page looks on mobile. So change the form factor here to mobile and take a quick look at how it's rendering on mobile. As you can see, this doesn't really render too well. So I'm going to make a change here where we can align this maybe to the left. Okay, if you don't see the alignment option in the mobile menu, we can always play with the spacing. So maybe I can space this, the spacing to the right. Let's increase that, maybe go 200, or let's try 350, 375. Okay, 375 seems okay. Now on this one, what I want to do is same thing. I'm going to add some spacing to the left this time, and also remove the spacing from the top, maybe even go negative. That's too much. Let's try negative 50. I think that looks good. Maybe negative 52, add some more spacing. So that's how I would design for mobile. So this renders well on mobile as well. I'm not going to do each and every one of these blocks, just wanted to kind of quickly show you. Here you can see that the no-brainer is supposed to be down here, and these just won't work well on mobile. What I'm talking about is this layout right here, where we have the box on the left and then this one on the right. You might have to just hide it on mobile and then show it in a different way to align both for desktop and mobile. So just play around with that, make sure everything lines up correctly. That's usually my final check. And then here on this page, you can see in the end, they just have a button and another image. So that should wrap it up. There you have it, course heroes. That is how you can easily copy any website from any platform. Before we leave, remember to hit the subscribe button so you get notified next time I release a video. And also check out ZZ Templates. I'll put a link in the description below where we have done the hard work, so you don't have to. Simply buy any page that you like and we'll build it in your new Zenler school lightning fast. Thank you and keep creating.